What's up, guys? This is Carter with Coin Mastery TV. Thank you for joining me. If you haven't already, make sure you go to coinmastery.com or our YouTube channel at coinmastery.com/YouTube and become a subscriber to get daily updates Monday through Friday on the crypto world. Today, we are talking about Bitcoin Cash, and specifically, we're going to talk about what the hell is going on with it. Pardon my French. We're going to talk about when you should sell it, and most importantly, how you can profit on it if you have the stomach for it. I'm going to walk through everything that you need to know as far as I can tell from all my research and from studying this stuff pretty much all day yesterday, comparing it to previous hard forks like Aetherium Classic, things like that, and also seeing what the markets are doing so that you guys, if maybe some of you already have Bitcoin Cash because you were airdropped it from your Bitcoin holdings, or you're thinking about buying some. We're going to cover all of that from the start. I don't know why I'm looking at Twitter right now. That's ridiculous. Anyway, let's go to Crypto Watch and let's do a quick overview of what went down yesterday. Now, I think everyone would agree that it was an awesome, awesome day for a few reasons, and it was actually kind of underwhelming in other ways. Now, the big news was that Bitcoin didn't really change that much, and probably the bigger news is that Bitcoin Cash went absolutely bananas, through the roof. Right now, as of 10:40 East Coast time, it is trading at almost a little over $1,000 US, which is 0.37 Bitcoin. So much so that the volume is so high and so extreme, the Bittrex can't even process the visuals. So that's how we know we're playing in the big leagues. That's really the big news. The other news, as we mentioned earlier or yesterday, the altcoins had a huge spike early in the day, had a little bit of a lull, and then it had a little bit of a second spike when Coinbase and Bittrex and everybody allowed people to start withdrawing their Bitcoin, so the markets became more liquid. That's always good for buying behavior, and it's also good for selling behavior in many ways. So all in all, altcoins ended up net positive for the most part. But they hit a really early high and then they kind of petered out because everybody was watching Bitcoin Cash. And that's really what we're going to talk about today. So I'm not even going to really talk too much about these charts. I think the only thing that was noteworthy was Ethereum hit about 230, which was that shows that there's still a lot of legs behind Ethereum. And as much as, it's kind of one of those situations, I own a lot of Ethereum, but I kind of don't even like Ethereum that much. I'm starting to come around a little bit more because there is just so much momentum, and it is the clear second choice or a clear market leader in non-currency Bitcoin related things like that. So I'm not going to get too deep into the other coins because I think it's better to just talk about Bitcoin Cash. As it relates for you guys, for anybody watching, make sure you stick around because we're going to walk through this and talk through a lot of different options you have. Now let's go over to Bittrex. Bittrex, I believe right now, is running the most volume on Bitcoin Cash. Now it's a little confusing because Bittrex is pairing this and they're saying it's BCC. Now you go over to some other exchanges and it's going to say BCH or whatever. So just make sure that you are trading Bitcoin Cash if you want to get into it. That's the first thing. I don't know why they can't just figure this out. There's another coin, BCC, on other exchanges. I don't know. It's ridiculous. But for all intents and purposes, Bittrex has the most volume. If you want to go check it out, you can go to coinmarketcap.com. Bitcoin Cash right now, I believe it's third. Right? You can see it here. Third based on market cap. It's already $11 billion. And if you click on this, it'll show you not only the charts, but it'll show you, if you click on markets right there, it'll show you where it's being traded. Obviously, Bittrex is running 144 million in volume. That's why we're going to focus on that. I'm just a big fan of Bittrex. Okay, second thing to keep in mind. Some people may be looking at Bittrex and they're looking at Kraken and Bitfinex and via BTC, and they're looking over here at the price. And they see Bittrex has a price of 1,000 or 1,010 right now. Kraken has 717. Via BCC only has 551. So there's as it stands, some people may be thinking there's a lot of arbitrage opportunity. However, the key detail is that Bittrex has not allowed withdrawals or deposits into the Bitcoin Cash wallets yet. They're waiting for more blocks to open up in the mining pool. Now, if you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. That just means like they're just waiting for it to be more legit, so that this doesn't blow up and go down to zero, as it very well could. So on Bittrex, which is running all the volume, everybody is buying and selling, but they can't actually move it out of Bittrex, right? Like they can't do anything other than buy and sell Bitcoin Cash and then turn it into Bitcoin. Like that's all that can happen. It's one kind of singular market. So if you have Bitcoin Cash on your, let's say, Trezor or Ledger, like an offline wallet, or if you have Bitcoin Cash on Kraken, or if you have Bitcoin Cash on BTC, you can't move it into Bittrex and make money on that arbitrage and then, clear $500 or whatever. Meaning that's why you can have big differentials in prices. So the only way to get Bitcoin Cash on Bittrex right now is either you got airdropped, right? You already had Bitcoin, so you got the match, or you can buy it as if it's an altcoin and you're just like buying low and selling high type of thing. So the reason I say that is if you are looking at these and thinking, oh man, I could just arbitrage this, as many people do, realize that the second these wallets open up to the general market, that arbitrage is going to go away in a matter of minutes, for obvious reasons, right? Like that's just how markets work on the whole. So if you're thinking about that in terms of how you make money on this situation, it's probably not going to happen. The second way that you could potentially profit from this is if you believe that this price is going to go from right now, let's say it's at 0.37, if you believe it's going to go up to 0.6, then you can buy this as if it is like any other coin, right? As if it's Stratus, as if it's Bitcoin, as if it's Ethereum. You can put Bitcoin into Bittrex. You can buy Bitcoin Cash. It'll go up, and then you can sell it at the higher price, right? It's just like any other coin in the market. So that's one way. I personally do not think that it's going to go up much more. Maybe it might hit 0.4, potentially 0.5, but it just doesn't make the market is just not, it's not real, right? When you look at what makes a market true capitalist market, as Adam Smith, the founder of capitalism, would say, is that there's not freedom of information here. There is not freedom of substitution. The market is not liquid. And anytime you have a market that's not liquid, there's an expiration, there's a shot clock on it. I would never buy long, especially after you've already seen it go way, way up. Okay? But if you really believe in it, if you have some insider information or whatever, that is one way you can do it. I don't believe you can short Bitcoin Cash, but I haven't looked into that deeply yet. If you could, the only place that I would probably be Bitfinex. I don't know if they're allowing you to do that. So that's the second way you can make money on Bitcoin Cash. Now the third thing is what most people are probably thinking was, well, I have some Bitcoin Cash, but it's on my wallet, or it's on coin. I had it on Coinbase, and now I want to move it somewhere, or you had Bitcoin Cash from some other place, and you just want to move it into Bittrex and liquidate it at the market price, right? So if I had, let's say, 50 Bitcoin, I want to move it onto Bittrex and then just immediately sell it at, oh, look at it. I mean, it's already dropping. Right now it's down to 36. The problem, like I said earlier, is that Bitcoin Cash does not allow the wallet transfer in or out to happen yet. Once they do open it, and you can drop the cash in there and sell it, that will be an option. But you better believe the second that wallet gets opened up, there is going to be a tidal wave of people pouring money in to sell it. And that's when you're going to see the huge drops. All right, but that is a way to liquidate it. And then the fourth way is to really wait for it to drop big time. I mean, you can already see it's crashing right here, like in real time. We're watching it crash. It's a bummer that this chart doesn't work, but I mean, it's just bombing down right now because people are starting to sell it. People, the fear factor, they know it's coming, blah, blah, blah. The fourth way is to wait for this thing to go way, way, way down, right? We're talking like 0.02 or 0.03, like almost down to like $50 worth. And then you start buying it up as if it is a true altcoin. And it has a market price. It acts like a market. And that's when you like really believe in the product. You believe in the vision, all the stuff that you'd buy a long-term hold for, as opposed to just trying to capitalize on a hot and juicy market right now. So that's really the picture. Now, probably the most important thing is what should you do, or what would I do if I was in your position? And of course, I can't. Nothing I ever say is true advice. This is just really, what my take on this is. My take is that I am not going to touch this, but if it gets below, let's say $100, I could potentially see this going way back up, right? Like I think this right now, it just went down $100. Now it's back up $100. This was like literally in 5 minutes. I would stay away from this because you are completely gambling. Right? There is no strategy in situations like this. This is just pure gamble with your money. I'm going to hold all my Bitcoin Cash that I have offline, right? So when they open up the wallets, I'm not going to pour it in there and try to liquidate it. Unless the price, if they open up the wallets and the price goes way up or holds, then I might think about doing it, but I don't think it's going to. I think it's going to drop considerably. And then I want to see it stabilize, and that's when I want to see the big whales come in and start buying it up like crazy, because there are some big whales out there, guys, men and women who, never know, who have thousands of Bitcoin that want to see it succeed, and they're going to buy as much as they can when it's really, really cheap. And right now they're just watching this thing just do whatever. So I think all in all, if you have Bitcoin Cash that you haven't liquidated yet, and you can get it on Bittrex, as soon as you can get on a Bittrex, whatever the price is, if you're comfortable with that, go for it. If you want to buy Bitcoin Cash, I personally would wait for this thing to crash when everybody thinks it's dead, and then buy it, because that's when you're going to get the best deal over the long term, right? A good example, if you guys want to go check this out, is go look at Aetherium Classic. This is very similar to what happened to Aetherium Classic when they hard forked. And the same thing happened, right? They launched it. It was super cheap. Everyone thought it was going to be a piece of garbage. And it skyrocketed, and then it came back down, and then it kind of evened out at the market price that it has. And it's steadily grown as the market's steadily grown. I think the same thing is going to happen with Bitcoin Cash. I think that it's going to drop in a huge way when all of this insanity stops. And then I think it will establish itself probably around 10% of what Bitcoin's worth. That's really, what all the kind of top people in the industry are saying is that anywhere from 0.05 to 0.2 Bitcoin is what the market rate will end up stabilizing around once all the markets are liquid, once all the deposits are available. So that is what's happening today. This is what is dominating all the news. I think the only other thing that I'm really going to keep an eye on is the Bitcoin price, right? As Bitcoin Cash gets liquidated, or if it doesn't get liquidated, I could eat my words on this. It could go 10,000 for all we know and become the new Bitcoin. I don't see that happening because for a variety of reasons, right? I don't see that happening, but it could. So I'm going to keep my eye on Bitcoin specifically, so that we could buy more Bitcoin, right? If BTC drops down to 2,000, I'll probably pick some up. And more importantly, as the price of Bitcoin changes, all the altcoin prices are going to change too, and you get massive volatility in altcoins. And that's where, from a trading standpoint, I've made most of my money in the last couple months. So this is really where I'm focusing. I think the Bitcoin Cash thing, this is just a complete crapshoot in my opinion. I think that this is as close to being in a casino as it gets, and it may be really tempting and really exciting, but man, without any sort of edge, this to me it just looks like you're rolling the dice and hoping it works. However, how that impacts the BTC price, which inherently impacts the altcoin prices, that to me is really interesting and really exciting. So that's where I'm going to be spending my time today. I'm going to let the Bitcoin Cash thing just go bananas as it has been and as it probably will continue to go do, and whatever else. But yeah, I think you just got to stick to your guns, and once you start stepping into what do you call it, situations where you don't really know why or what's going on, and it's very tumultuous like it is now, that's a really good way to lose your money. I mean, you can't script this stuff better in terms of how people lose their money is when they walk in. It's like that age-old thing. If you walk into the poker game and you don't know who the sucker is, you're the sucker, right? It's kind of a situation like this where if you don't have a really good plan to get in and get out and know exactly how and why it's going to go down that way, you're going to get worked pretty bad. So I think that's really the name of the game. I think let's just do a quick gut check at the alts, or altcoins, I should say, for anybody who is keeping an eye on these. Nothing really popped out. I think we had a little bit of a drop because I honestly think it's just because all the attention's on Bitcoin Cash. I mean, look at the volume. It's 55,000 Bitcoin. We're running through that exchange right now. That's got to be like almost all, like the top 50 altcoins combined, right? So I think that the reason these altcoins are a little depressed right now compared to yesterday is because all the money and all the eyes and energy is in Bitcoin Cash. So I think that once these exchanges equalize and everything, you're going to see a lot more movement in the altcoins. I think that you'll probably see the prices go back up. Assuming BTC doesn't change, if BTC skyrockets, you're obviously going to see altcoins go down a little bit, but their relative fiat price will go way up. And yeah, I think if I was going to buy anything, I would only buy something if BTC starts to shoot back up because Bitcoin Cash is crashing. So I think there's a lot of different kind of levers that I'm talking about here. All you really need to know is Bitcoin Cash. If you want to touch it, it's a gamble. I'm not going to touch it anytime soon unless it goes way down. BTC, keep an eye on it, and if it goes way up, altcoin prices are going to go down, right? Like that's their relative. That's how they're paired. If BTC goes way down, then altcoin prices are going to go up. So it's kind of like what we had the other day, have a plan for all three of those. I would not recommend getting into Bitcoin Cash right now. Like, leave that to the pros. It's just, you probably have massive FOMO, but I don't know. It's like trying to catch a falling knife or whatever they say, right? So I don't have any particular picks today. I mean, obviously I'm always down for some Stratus. XLM, Stellar Lumens, has been doing really well. They're up to like 677. I mean, this was trading at 560 the other day when we bought it up. So that's a nice little boost. I think that Stellar Lumens still has a long way to go. I've seen a lot of people talking about Viacoin, which has been, I don't know enough about it. The other one I would keep an eye on is Counterparty. Right, Counterparty is kind of a secondary Bitcoin layer that is very unique, and I don't own any Counterparty. I may buy a little. If I did, it would be for a long-term play. The volume is really low, so it's really hard to buy and sell it. I mean, you can buy it. It's just hard to buy a lot without moving the price of of the coin itself. But I think Counterparty could, I think it could do really well if BTC goes big, right? And becomes the de facto thing as Bitcoin Cash thing goes away. Counterparty could have a second wind. ARK, I own some ARK. That had a huge surge last 2 days, 25, 30%. ARK, it's kind of like it kind of connects different blockchains, right? So it allows Ethereum to talk to Bitcoin, or it allows Bitcoin to talk to Stratus, right? It bridges the different blockchains. It's kind of like, if anybody knows what Zapier is, or if this then that type, it just like connects different programs. That's kind of what ARK does. So it's an interesting one as well. As we get more blockchains out there, there's obviously a need for that sort of thing. Let me see if there's anything else I should say. Yeah, that's about it. Civic's just kind of, I don't know. I'm hoping that Civic is playing I know they're playing the long game, but I probably wouldn't buy that if you guys are looking for a quick flip. I think that it's going to take a little while for Civic to come back. I would probably look at XLM if you want to see something that's going to make some money in the next few weeks, because that price is very, very depressed right now. Yeah, I think that's probably about it. Oh yeah, and Waves. I think that Waves, is a decent price, but a lot of the technical people that I follow have been showing a lot of really good what's called descending triangles. I'm not going to get into the technical stuff right now, but what that means is that it's slowly been on a downward trend, but it may have the ability to pop and break out relatively soon. So take a look at Waves. I do not own any Waves. I bought and sold a little bit, maybe a Bitcoin's worth or something. So, but Waves could be one. It's one of those big kind of platform, similar to Stratus that we've talked about. So a bunch of people are talking about Waves making some big moves. And with that, I'm just going to watch this thing kind of like a TV show. Just sit back and check it out. I'm not going to stress about Bitcoin Cash today. I'm really just interested in how it affects the BTC prices, because I think Bitcoin Cash is just going to get murdered when these wallets open up. So that's today's episode, guys. It's Wednesday. Make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel. Leave a comment. Send me an email. Join the newsletter. And tell your friends to check this stuff out. I always love hearing from you guys, and this community is already starting to pick up. So appreciate everything you guys do, and all the support and the high fives and the feedback you've been giving. It's really awesome and helpful. I will be back tomorrow, and we'll catch you guys then. All right, peace out.